Hello everybody, I'm Psychro, the friendly survival specialist, and welcome. Today we are reacting to legendary drops. I talked to Ubisoft devs, it's worse than we could imagine. Now, my feeling about, I don't know, I don't think you know about my feelings about Ubisoft, but I fucking hate them, very much so. Well, maybe not the devs specifically, Ubisoft in general are not very great. Let's get into this. Let's go and watch this. We will make it bigger and we will watch it.
I had developers at Ubisoft reach out wanting to make sure that the right story is being told, and these guys are running out of time. While the company has been trying to
Oh yeah, it is running so out of time.
put on a strong face, pretend like they have a plan moving forward, well, things internally have been falling apart faster and faster every single day, with many developers at the company now believing that this is just going to be the end of Ubisoft and
oh, it's definitely either not the end of the Ubisoft. I do wish, as much as I dislike Ubisoft, I don't dislike the people working there as much anymore, because I do realize some of them are literally just there now. They just exist knowing certain things I hope he puts on. But mostly it's just the people who works there. I like the leaders of Ubisoft that is so stupid. So in some way, I do hope that there is a form of change to Ubisoft, that they will change for the better in the future. That or Tencent will buy them, maybe.
many of them are just preparing to leave. They've been telling me that there is new leadership that's being put in place. It's completely unproven and never even worked on a game before. They've allegedly been lying about their entire plans to be able to save the company. Most of it's all just smoke and mirrors. They've been telling their employees to outright ignore player criticism because we don't know.
That is the most stupidest. If the fucking leaders just listened to player criticism, actually listened to the player criticism, maybe we wouldn't have a piece of trash games and actually would probably have a good Assassin's Creed Shadow. But no, we don't. We don't get these things.
Know what we're talking about, apparently, and these guys still somehow believe that they are the king of open world games, at least in their eyes. And they've even gone as far as to shut down any conversations at the company around Expedition 33 or Dispatch, games coming from former Ubisoft employees because...
Oh yeah, is Dispatch also made by Ubisoft? Ex-Ubisoft employee? Because again, they literally make it so that you can't talk about ex-Ubisoft employees and how they're making greater games, more successful games. That is such a fucking Copenhagen thing. Jesus Christ.
Well, they don't, really match up with the direction that the company is going in. And also, those games are kind of flukes. Ubisoft isn't listening to reason. They're not listening to their players. They're not listening to their developers. Hell, they just recently fired one for speaking out online. And now the company is sitting at its lowest point
oh my god
in history. So we have the developers coming out to set the record straight. Today's video is sponsored by Displayed, and this one is perfect timing with Valentine's Day.
I definitely do wish to have a display. If anything, I could love to get a display of my character.
Coming up, Displayed's custom displays is one of the easiest gift ideas I have ever seen. You can upload your own image, your photos, artwork, memories, whatever you want, and apply some built-in filters to give it a clean, polished look without actually having to do any of the extra work yourself. They have a bunch of different filter styles, so whether you want something softer or more dramatic or just a nice version of an original photo, it can handle it for you. Upload the image, pick the filter, and Display turns it into a high quality...
Oh, so I can get a thing. I can use his and get a display.
Metal poster. If you've never used Display before, they make premium metal posters. What am I talking about? We have talked about this 100 times. Why haven't you guys bought more of these things? There's no tools. There's no wall damage. They're super easy to hang up and swap out. It's just one of those things that just works, and it looks better than anything else you could be putting up on the wall. They've got over 1 million designs.
I think I definitely would want one with my own character.
If you want to go custom, games, anime, movies, limited edition, texture prints. But for Valentine's Day, you want to get something special, something that really shines. So go ahead and use code LEGENDARY at checkout. Hit the link in the description and take a look. If you're...
Display.com, use code Survivalist, maybe.
Stuck on what you want to get someone this year?
One day.
This solves the problem pretty fast. Man, Ubisoft used to be...
Yes, Far Cry 3 was one of the best fucking games they ever made. That was like literally what brought me into the Ubisoft thing, and after that I just loved most of their games.
Be that publisher. For the longest time, you didn't even question their releases because these guys just delivered. The 2000s to the early 2010s, it was a ridiculous run. Sands of Time, Splinter Cell, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six Vegas.
Like, some of the games I haven't played, like Splinter Cell and such, but I knew they were good games. I knew how good games were.
Rayman Origins, not all of these games were perfect, but man, these guys had...
No, but we didn't need perfection back then. Now it's like, we want perfection, but they give us the most imperfect perfection. Like, yes, this super realistic game that only runs on 30 frames per second is perfection.
A grip on the industry, big franchises, real identity, and some real production value, just solid games all around. Then somewhere in the mid-2010s, the crack started to show, and it stopped just being Ubisoft jank in some of their games, and it started just become...
I still never actually played Watch Dogs. I have 1 and 2, wanted to play them, but I never just got into them.
The entire product. Unity was a disaster. Watch Dogs felt like one of the first times that a ton of people got sold one thing and shipped another. That game did not look anything like its trailers. And yeah, these guys still had some wins in that period. You had Siege and Origins, Far Cry 5, Wildlands, The Division.
Yeah, Far Cry 5 I actually did enjoy. I liked Far Cry 5.
But the rot was...
The Division 2 was a little bit rocky in the beginning, so I never got into it, else I would
already
have.
Spreading more for...
Like, it's literally perfect game for me in form of, like, what you do.
More padding, more copy-pasted open worlds full of a shitload of chores, and monetization creeping into everything until single player just barely even meant anything anymore.
Damn.
And that slow decay finally turned into what I view as now an active freefall. Years of fatigue caught up, and now it's just been miss after miss. Avatar, Skull and Bones, X-Defiant, Star Wars Outlaws, even Assassin's Creed Shadows came and went from conversation like it didn't even matter. And none of these games were small bets. These are massive projects, massive budgets.
They are definitely using too much fucking money on shit.
And they didn't pay off. Not a single one of them.
No, they had Skull and Bones, which have been in production for so fucking long. Like, I remember the fucking announcing it, and then it just vanished, and then it came back, and then it was like the worst fucking shit ever.
Now it's studios being shuttered, layoffs at Massive in Stockholm, leadership shakeups, projects being canceled and delayed, Prince of Persia being one of them. And actually, in some of my conversations with the devs, they told me that they had heard internally that it was all tied up in this training setup with students in India for cheaper labor. And
oh my fucking god. Of course they're gonna fucking use the fucking cheaper labor.
That game was basically so mismanaged that it just became completely unsalvageable. Now you have investors that are bailing out. Their stock has been in the dirt for years. And
yeah, they are literally going downhill since they just became a fucking propaganda machine from wokeness. If they weren't so fucking... If they didn't fucking subscribe to the DEI bullshit, nothing of this sort would have happened. Like, if you just stayed on course. But somehow, fucking management, CEO on top, became retarded and brain dead.
The U.S. stock exchange is sitting at under $1. Everything for this company feels like it's getting worse day by day. So yeah, when I say that Ubisoft is out of time, guys, I am not saying that for the title. I am saying that because that's what it looks like from the outside, and apparently that's exactly what it looks like from the inside. Following the recent reports of Ubisoft developers updating their resumes while they're still employed, and also another developer that got fired for criticizing the company on LinkedIn.
So he got fired because he criticized the company, which is understandable. You're working for the company, you're criticizing it, you're probably gonna get fired. But when you also, like, don't listen to the criticism of your employees and the people that's literally needing to buy your product, this is why they like going. They're going for, like, instead of, like, make a satisfying product that we consumers can buy and be satisfied with, they are more like, how can we get investors to just give us money and then have consumers eat shit? Oh, we can do that. Now we're dying. How can we become brain dead? Drugs, maybe? Okay, because they must be smoking something at Ubisoft.
LinkedIn, I had both former and current Ubisoft developers reach out to me. Their identities will be kept secret for very obvious reasons,
Alright.
but they want people to understand what is actually
So yeah, former and current devs.
going on inside the studio and where they think all of this is headed.
Mm-hmm.
First, I simply asked, how does it feel working there right now? And they
So how it feels to work
answered, in one word, depressing. It feels like nothing can be done at our scale as employees, and the future looks even worse.
That is fucking that is freaking sad. That is so sad. It's sad that you literally just have to like go to work now, and then you have to have this dread upon you.
I asked, do any of the developers see the light at the end of the tunnel, or do they just feel like they're on the Titanic at this point? They come back to me with, well, as far as I can see, there are three main views. One, I have a family, so I can't really move, so I just hope for the best. Two, I'm preparing my resume. And three, I'll probably just leave the industry.
Okay, so, well, as far as I can see, that's three main views. I have a family, so mostly people just want to work because they have to have a family and feed. Others are preparing to leave to go somewhere else. And best wishes for everybody here. And some people just want to leave the gaming industry as a whole, which is fair. It has been nothing but psychotic. AAA has become such an insane drought that like you need safety, so you have to have this safe art style. You can't be gritty, you can't be vulgar, you can't be vocal, like saying bad words or anything like that. You can't show anything bad, like, I can't make a game about racism and actually show racism because racism is bad. I can't have a grim dark fantasy with where grim dark fantasy stuff happens. No, my grim dark fantasy game needs to be needs to be made for kids or some shit. Like my adult game, kids need to play it or some shit. It's like the people who made these safety features, this safe art style, this safe direction, are literally the people who ruined AAA.
I then asked, with everything that's happening with the company, management, and the overall direction, do you guys feel like you're even making games for players anymore? They answered, most of the time it's hard to tell. Many just started working like it's a 9 to 5.
Yeah, they just waking up. They just want to get the day over with. They literally don't care anymore. They just want to get the money and go home, which is understandable. It's a job for them now. It's not a passion.
I responded, well, is that the overall feeling right now? Most people have just checked out. Where do you guys think this company is headed? They respond, I don't think it's everyone yet, but most people think that the direction is delusional and gripping to the hope of releasing a bestseller like Valhalla at its peak at the pandemic or a Fortnite-like live service. I think that while some don't really think about it, many think that we're just going to end up bought by Tencent for IPs.
Which is understandable. Those IPs, I definitely would love to have some people actually doing something with it. And if not, it's fine. We can create new IPs by just removing the patents altogether so people can't, like, they don't own any of the systems or anything like that.
Well, I'm going to say it's no wonder that these developers feel defeated.
Like, I like Valhalla. I think Valhalla was still a good Assassin's Creed game. That was, like, too much open world. Like, when a game became too much open world, in my opinion, it also just becomes, like, there's too much to do. There's too many things to get. Like, the only reason why I have so many hours is because I need to find fucking rocks everywhere or some shit. I need to collect these special items here and there. And that's like, at that point, it just becomes boring. But, well, for completionists, that's fine, I guess, because I don't need to do it.
They know the company is underperforming. They're watching studios get shut down, watching layoffs roll through, hearing more about right-sizing and reorganizing like it's some sort of seasonal update for the company. You would think at some point these guys would see some real change, something that actually addresses why players have checked out, why we stopped buying their games, why their games pretty much across the board are underperforming. But instead, they have management that is clinging to the same idea over and over again.
Yeah, management or the top bracket literally just holds on to their little bucket of DEI checklists that they need to, like, oh, I want this, as they fucking get as the as they slowly get railed in the ass by their husband or boyfriend or something like that, because they clearly, or maybe not, maybe they're watching their wife get cocked, some shit. Like, not their wife getting cocked, they are getting cocked as they watch their wife get fucked. Like, clearly something is happening for them to just sit up there and being totally freaking morons.
And that they're somehow going to recreate the success of Valhalla, a game that blew up in a once-in-a-lifetime moment where the entire world was locked inside their house.
Yeah, like, every AA company, triple A company, literally became stupid under. Like, I freaking think that COVID didn't just make people sick. It literally gave people brain damage. Like, some people got infected, and rather than getting sick, they started getting like a brain hemorrhage, some shit inside their fucking hand, to the point that they can't think clearly anymore. That all of a sudden they think like, oh, we can get just as many numbers. Oh, like, a lot of people weren't just home and needing something to drive the time with, so they bought video games, which they can on computers or consoles that they now played. So of course you're going to see a expansion. You're gonna see like a really high number, and at that point it's just so stupid because you're not going to get 10 million players just because you got it last
While
time.
also chasing the live service dragon, thinking that they're the ones that are going to be able to crack it, even though publisher after publisher has tried and gotten humiliated for it. And the crazy part is that we don't even have to guess if that's the mindset, because Ubisoft's CEO basically said that outright in their investor briefing. On one hand, the AAA industry has become persistently more selective and competitive, with rising development costs and greater challenges in creating brands. On the other hand, exceptional AAA games, when successful, have more
When successful, but your games aren't successful anymore. You're not successful anymore. So stop chasing these pathetic dreams. You are adult. You need to fucking face reality or get fucking hit by a, or you going to hit the wall, my guy.
more financial potential than ever. In this context, today we are
Oh my
announcing
God.
a major reset build to create the conditions for a return to sustainable growth over time. We are transforming Ubisoft's operating model to produce exceptional quality games on two core pillars of our strategy: open world adventures and games as a service native experiences. I cannot believe that this is coming from the same company that wrote one of their villains saying, "Do you know the definition of insanity?"
Yeah, they have this person, but the person who's the leader there, I don't know if it's the same person. Like I said, under COVID, people became morons, like literally brain damage. So the person probably have a fucking brain hemorrhage, like a brain hole in their brain, and can't remember this character even existing.
These guys are literally betting the house on doing the exact same thing that they've been doing for the past 10 years. Exceptional AAA games are successful and they have more financial potential than ever. Where? When? I haven't seen them. I don't think anybody else has, because the last 5 years have been completely dominated, not by exceptional AAA games. No, it's been
By at least double A games and indie games. Indie games has an exceptional explosion because most triple A games are morons.
smaller games, games that are actually focused, games that are actually finished, games made by people who actually know what they're doing. And even when you're making your point that, oh, some of the biggest AAA games that are out there, some of the biggest AAA money printing moments. Okay, yeah, you have
So
Diablo 4. That's
stupid.
probably the only example that you're going to be able to use here. And look where that game ended up. Meanwhile, Baldur's Gate 3, for all intents and purposes, that was definitely a AAA sized cultural event, but it was something that was built closer to a double A budget, single player, no microtransactions. Hell, even the developers are so anti that stuff that they put it in their damn FAQ. So how do you hear players that have been complaining for years about bloated open world games, about monetization that's infecting everything, about live service elements that are being folded into games that they have no business being there, and then go and look at the graveyard of failed live service launches with a couple of outliers and think that you guys are the ones that are headed in the
They think like, Siege is successful, let's make another Siege. Fortnite is successful, let's try and make our own Fortnite. And it's so fucking stupid. Anything like that is so freaking stupid.
right direction? What is wrong with this company?
Oh only reason Fortnite became successful was because the original game that they were supposed to ship out changed into this battle royale game because PUBG was so successful. Everything after that needed a goddamn battle royale. Fortnite then made their own, free to play and all that, and it exploded. But now we are where we are. They used the launcher, like the system or whatever it's called, like Unreal Engine and such. And then it just became that. You're not going to get Fortnite. For one, you don't have the same thing. You're making games on Unreal Engine. You're not going to make Fortnite.
So I ended up asking the developers directly, are they just flat out ignoring player feedback? What has been their thoughts on how low players
We know they're ignoring us, else they would actually make good games.
think of them? They responded, they are completely ignoring feedback. They think that the silent majority will keep buying games and microtransact.
What silent majority? You're literally not selling any games. What silent majority are you talking about? Everything?
The issue is with leadership that they still think that Ubisoft is leading the open world genre.
Oh my god, that is such a delusional. Like, the guy is literally sitting in a padded room right now, fucking talking about a game is successful, literally shaking about how that game is freaking successful. It's successful. It is successful. No, it is successful. The voices, I can hear the voices.
So quality is never questioned despite the shortfalls of recent releases. I then asked, so management is flat out not learning their lessons and ignoring players and the teams. They responded, higher ups, yes. Lower management,
Okay, so he does point it out. Yes, higher ups, yes. Low management usually wants to do something but are powerless. So you have the people who, like devs, who are there doing their job now. They just want to do their job. They don't really have any passion anymore. Some still have, some probably don't even, and some don't even want to work there anymore, and some want to leave gaming making as a whole. Just stop being a game dev. And the higher ups, the CEO, the owner of the companies, and a middle management probably, everything from like middle to up just ignores everything, thinks everything is dandy. Somehow I don't know what papers they're reading, I don't know what kind of things they're on. Some of them, like, they must be doing, like, using some of the budget for video games on drugs or something, because they can't be this fucking lost.
Usually want to do something.
And low management wants to do something but can't because they don't have any power over leadership.
But are powerless. I hate how vindicating it is to hear something like that. Yeah, it definitely makes me feel justified.
So yeah, I definitely hate Ubisoft management. Like, Ubisoft as a company, the leaders, the people who thinks it was a good idea to be uglifying a woman.
It makes a lot of you guys feel justified too, but I can't imagine how miserable it must be to work inside of a company where you actually want to do something different. You have people that are there that want to fix it, who can see the problems clearly, but they get stonewalled by leadership that pretends like nothing is wrong, tells them to ignore feedback, and just keeps forcing everything in the same direction. Now, I'm sure some of you guys are going to say, just leave. Well, some of these developers are, but it's not that simple. It's not
like it is not that simple, really.
We have studios around every single corner for these guys to be able to hop to, especially when you got a family, mortgages, visa situations, or whatever else. So
so it is really hard for them to really just leave. This is why it's so weird why none of the devs listen to us. But this is why I try not to blame the devs anymore, other than when it is the devs' fault. But it's management most of the time. It is middle management and up, like team leaders or whatever, literally has no power.
What happens instead is exactly what these guys told me. It just turns into a 9 to 5. People check out. They just do what they're told. They just put their head down, hope everything turns out all right. They write it out and hope that some other company is going to come in and buy them before it all collapses on top of them. I think this is how we're getting a lot of what we're seeing from AAA right now. Games that are launching
Yeah, I think Ubisoft is not the only one doing this. I feel like almost every company, every AAA company does this. They don't listen to player feedback. They don't actually give a fuck. And sometimes we do get through to them.
Painfully off the mark, projects that feel like they're wearing the skin of older franchises without any of the soul, and design decisions that feel like they came straight out of a meeting, because none of these games are actually being made by the people who work there. They're being made by the people who are telling them what to do, and most of the people that want to try to do anything have already checked out. I've spent a lot of time talking to AAA developers, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is a problem that these guys run into all the time. They hear the players. They know what we're complaining about. They know that they can fix it. They see the way to be able to fix it. They want to fix it, but management steps in the way every single time. These guys want to fix mechanics. They want to fix character designs, the direction of some of these games. Some of these guys are even pushing back against live service, but management says no. They say that we are wrong, that we're the ones that don't know what we
the consumers, are wrong.
want, and they do know what we want, and then they
Hey, we know you want our games that we are not going to do anything on. We're not going to work on it or anything. Oh, you don't like the lag? What lag? You want lag.
force these developers to just press ahead. I don't understand how
You're not the only one, my guy. None of us understand how leadership these people fucking like. What kind of things they are on?
how you manage a company this poorly. How do you not listen to your customers? How do you not see?
Because investors, they don't listen to customers because investors are gonna throw money at them. But it's like you're not gonna earn anything. Oh, maybe they can like make some BS and then earn some money. It's like, but if you use more than you earn, then you don't earn anything. And it's like, but does it matter? If we can keep doing it and keep getting investors to give us money, we are going to get paid anyway.
These obvious mistakes. How do you not recognize that you have hit an iceberg?
Mm-hmm.
Some of these people have been working at this company forever. Some of the guys are the people that owned it and operated it and founded the company, and they still don't see any of this stuff. And you know, while I am all for Ubisoft cutting weight, I've talked about that a ton of times.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel like a lot of AAA companies needs to cut off some of the fat that they have. They became too big and then didn't know what to do with the money, so they hired more people to think, because more people equals faster work. No, that mostly only works if it's manual labor or something like that. Like you're building a house, more people probably works better there, but not always, because you also have to have the people thought about it. If every person like knew what they were doing and such, maybe, but it's like if you have too many people, it's like the concept of like having too many cooks in the kitchen. You don't feed you too many people doing too many things. Two people doing the same things all of a sudden. Mismanagement here, a little bit of game of telephone there, and unsureness here, and then you just do things, and then you may get fired because you didn't do it right.
Way too many people that are working at that company. There's still over 17,000 people. None of these layoffs mean a thing if this company.
Now, I can understand having maybe 10,000 people working there. You have like certain people working on one side of the company, another working on a third side of the company. Like you have different things working on different projects, like different games. That's fine. We have sometimes gotten used to blame the whole company rather than the people working on the game. So let's say it's Ubisoft A we need to blame instead of Ubisoft B. But now when it comes to Ubisoft, it's literally just Ubisoft management.
Company does not learn from any of its failures, and they're not. I mean, the CEO actually believes that the only reason that Star Wars Outlaws failed is because the Star Wars IP is bad.
Oh my gosh. Oh my fucking god. Why is people like this? Like, why are people like this? Why? Oh my god, that is so stupid. No, people love fucking Star Wars. People freaking love Star Wars. People still love the story of Star Wars, the concept of Star Wars, the fiction of Star Wars. People just hate how it's being shit on by these people who doesn't give a fuck about it.
Because nobody likes Star Wars anymore. Even though I'm pretty sure people really liked Andor, and there was a movie that came out that I think a lot of people like. I didn't get to watch it. I've been out of the whole Star Wars thing for a while. We also had Battlefront that saw a massive resurgence of players just before the launch of Star Wars Outlaws. So how does that make sense? How delusional can you get? Well, apparently pretty damn delusional, because it's going to get worse. Wait till you hear how these guys reacted to the success of Expedition 33 and how their solution to their over-management problem is more middle management. Over the past couple of months, Ubisoft has basically delivered nothing but bad news, but in the middle of that, they still took the time to hold an investor meeting for like the 5 investors that these guys still have left, giving their plans for 2026 and beyond. More cut.
I mean, maybe they can squeeze some money out of it. When they get the money in their pockets, they don't really need to do anything. They just need to bring it like, yeah, we're sorry. And then the guy's probably gonna fuck off somewhere else so he can cheat some more money when the company is fucking sold to Tencent. So why care, you know?
More projects being shelved, and the big headline that they really wanted everybody to focus on was a complete restructuring, supposedly aimed at delivering higher quality games. They're carving the company up into 5 creative houses, with Ubisoft HQ overseeing all of it, and they're selling this as a new era of speed and discipline, placing creative and financial accountability.
Oh my god.
Closer to where value is created, simplifying the organization, better deploying resources, all the usual.
We wish it was like that, but we know it's not.
Bullshit. So the obvious question is, what does this actually mean for the people that are making games? Because Ubisoft loves announcing plans, but they don't really like following through on a lot of things. What I want to know is whether or not this is actually going to make anything better. I asked the developers, I know that they had pivoted, reorganized, brought in some new leadership, but my biggest worry, and probably the same worry a lot of other players is having right now, is this company being run by people who actually know how games are made? Are you running into that kind of problem? They responded, there are several issues that plague the company. That pivot looks like fairy dust, to be honest. Most leadership was already there. We used to have zones a year or two before creative houses, which did nothing but create a new layer of management. There are still some people at the head of the company that have been in game development at some point, but it's been years. The way that games are made now is different. I also heard that most of them are just yes men now.
Yeah, why not hire yes men? If you hire yes men and only get yes as sniffers and all that, you're literally only going to get shit. You're literally only going to get shit, because they're going to sniff your ass, they're going to kiss it, they're going to make it great. But the only thing that comes out of your fucking ass is shit. That's why you need people who don't fucking do it.
Okay, so this...
Like, you need sometimes that fucking person who would call you a fucking moron, retard, and an idiot all in one. Like, the person who would literally fucking smack you so fucking hard when you're getting out of line, in hope that you're probably gonna have less brain damage.
This is where things are getting really good. So basically what they're saying
But
is restructuring is just...
You need that type of
person. Smoke screen. It's the same people, maybe a couple of new faces, but most of the leadership has been removed from the actual work for years, so many of them don't even understand how games are made today, which is making things even more difficult for the developers. They're essentially being given new management that hasn't worked on games in years or have never personally worked on a game before, all while the company is placing another layer of management on top of all of...
I'm getting a little bit interested in this game because I really do kind of wish I could play The Division.
That to make things worse. Unable to believe what I was
hearing. But it's just not worth it anymore to get right now.
I asked them to clarify.
It's just too late for me to get Division 2.
Yeah, as I said, right now it's a bit chaotic. It feels not as planned as publicly showcased. Well, it wasn't really organized into creative houses, just there are now projects that belong into different ones within the organization in the same building. I responded, that seems wildly disorganized. So how many layers of management are there between the developer and the studio head? They came back with, depends on the game. On a mid-sized project,
the concept of that fucking
the whole team is in one studio, you could have 6 to 7 layers between developer and the studio head. If it's a multi-studio collaboration, it gets worse. You can easily hit 10 or 11 layers because the team and even sometimes the directors sit under a studio lead, which has their own management chain under the game.
They are so mismanaged. Jesus Christ.
I then asked them, is that normal? That feels like a lot of layers.
that is not normal. You have the person who owns the company. Under that, you should have like a fucking middle manager or something to help you manage the company. And at most, that should be it. After that, you have the fucking studio head or director, like the person who's like the head of the devs, who's like, okay, we're gonna make a game today. We're gonna make the CEO happy. We're gonna make middle management happy. Blah, 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 whatever. Like, we have the fucking... We need the middle manager. It needs to be there where it's like, that's the paper pushers. That does everything that is not gaming related. And the CEO is, of course, the CEO. He can, I don't know what CEOs does, but most of the time they do like deals, talks about like advertisements and all that kind of things. Like they're trying to push the company, right? But because this is a game company, it probably works a little bit different. So you have like the CEO there doing whatever the CEO is doing, talking to middle management. Middle management tries to probably talk to the team of advertisers, trying to get advertisement made. When the advertisers talks to the fucking game leader, studio leader, like the studio head, whatever, the head of devs. And then you have the devs. You should need more than that. I think I just freaking made a better system. The CEO, paper pushers, doing everything they need to. Then you have the team of advertisers. You have the studio heads or whatever, like the leader of the devs. And then you have the devs. I don't think you need more than that. The devs does coding. Okay, maybe not just the devs. You also need the team of artists. So you need like the artist and the devs that works in tandem. Probably could like be the same people. I don't exactly know. Some people are multi-talented, I thought. But you know, artists and devs working on the game, making the art, making the textures, coding the textures so that you don't have a model and end up with a creeper in your game. Right? Then you have the coders, the modelers, probably under the artist, but you have the coders to make everything work. Then you also another team you have should be the goddamn QA team, fucking QA team, like quality assurance team. Maybe later on you can hire beta testers. Beta testers could be something like, there's a lot of people you can help beta test. I could be hired to beta test. I don't know if I need something for that, but I wouldn't mind being hired to beta test.
Of management, doesn't that cause issues? No wonder developers don't feel heard. Nobody can hear you. They responded, no, it causes a lot of issues. Meetings are bloated. Most people zone out. Information gets lost. People work on things that are not
literally game of telephone
up to date. Work that has already been done without consulting another team needs to be.
I fucking said this. I literally said this not long ago, that it's literally just a game of telephone for some. Some people are working on something that's already done. I literally said that. I literally goddamn like cue what I said. If you have too many people, it's like the concept of like having too many cooks in the kitchen. You don't fit. You too many people doing too many things. Two people doing the same things all of a sudden. Mismanagement here. A little bit of game of telephone there. And if I figure out how to do that, if I can edit to like cue what I said in a dramatic way, you know, to make it seem like it was in the past, like black and white. Oh my god, I said this before it was even fucking named.
Message through a human maze, and by the time it reaches the other side, if it even does, it's going to be watered down, misunderstood, outdated, or it's just going to collide with something that another team already did. And that doesn't just explain bugs, that also explains the quality drop. The way that these franchises have slowly started to lose their identity, and they've started to wear the skin of what they used to be because nothing is getting through.
Oh my god. I am mismanaged as fuck. But even I can freaking manage a company better than these freaking morons at Ubisoft right now.
Cleanly proposed changes.
Ubisoft, call me, hire me. I will make it so that your management team, like, literally everything is easier. You could fire some probably. You don't need a big bloated management team. You need the devs, the artists, quality insurance, advertisement team, the paper pushers who does everything that the devs doesn't do, you know? Make sure that things are running just a bit smooth. And then you, the CEO, sitting there on your golden shitter, call me. I can definitely make it fucking better for you than you retards can.
Even simple ones are going to take weeks or months for these guys to be able to move on. And beyond that, it also applies to the soul of the project. How clearly can a vision come through when someone who is writing the dialogue, designing levels, or trying to shape the narrative has to pass everything through layers of Dante's Inferno just to try to get a straight answer?
It's literally the fucking 9 circles of hell, but 9 circle of Ubisoft.
The only thing that's going to survive is going to be the simplest version of everything possible. Safe choices, repeatable formulas, stuff that is easy to justify and easy to track. The only thing that you're ever really going to see change, especially from Ubisoft titles, is going to be the monetization because, well, that's ironclad. That's a demand that's coming from the top with no mixed messaging. Also, probably a lot of stuff from their HR department, too. I just don't get how you look at the past couple of years and
I mean, I think HR needs to just go or downsized a lot. HR is like, it's literally not anything
think that doubling down
worth
is the answer.
having.
The industry has been rewarding the opposite right now. Tighter teams, tighter scopes, lower budgets, games with real identity. And yeah, AAA is still going to hit sometimes, but the conversation keeps getting swallowed by stuff like Silksong or Schedule 1 or Expedition 33. How are you not going to learn from that? Which then reminded me, you know, for how big Expedition 33 got, even the French Prime Minister had shouted them out. Ubisoft was silent. So I asked the developers, what was the internal reaction to Sandfall's success, especially with former Ubisoft developers on that team, and did they learn anything from it? They responded, none, no reaction. They believe that Ubisoft isn't doing the same scale of game and that this team size isn't fit for a project that the company needs to make. As I said, they want to focus on live service and open.
God. If they continue that, I just hope Ubisoft fucking dies. I don't need to think about Ubisoft. I literally don't think about Ubisoft every day anyway. It's already dead in my mind.
World. What the
Another person, Tencent could come out, they kill Ubisoft, and Tencent can come out with Far Cry 6 or 7 or whatever Far Cry number we on at this point, and I'll be like, oh yes, Tencent. They make they make good, probably gonna make good games.
fuck? I had to
Probably
pry
not, I
further.
don't know.
So they just brushed it off. No internal discussion. They come back saying many of the developers are players too, people that love the game, and they tried to bring it up to
Any of the
management saying, why don't we have projects like this? And they found 10 bullshit excuses to showcase how unrealistic it is and how we should ignore it in an internal Q&A. You know, the famous "it's an exception." Executives said there are tons of other indie games like this that fail. Can you guys imagine?
There's almost no fucking game like Expedition that fails. Almost no indie games fails. Not 100% true, some do fail, but you know, most indie games doesn't have a bloated budget.
Imagine being in that building and hearing that. You go and you play Expedition 33, you're high.
That is such a level of cope that the person should be in a padded room.
For the people that used to sit a couple of desks away from you, you see the whole industry light up over it, and you're thinking, finally, we have proof of concept that the smaller, focused, actually creative approach can still work, and your own executives look you in the face and go, nah. What is wrong with these people? Not what we can learn, not why did this land, not how do we get some of that discipline back, just excuses, dismissal, a corporate coping mechanism. We don't make games like that. It's an exception. Indie games fail all the time. We do live service and open worlds. It's just so gross. It's not even a disagreement about taste. It's just an admission that their model matters more than their own crap.
Literally, like, the dude literally just has a poster on his wall that says, like, live service game, Fortnite, hashtag, love you, open world, big, being retarded. And the guy's, like, looking at that poster and he's just staring at it. Just staring at that poster and be like, yeah, I will do it. For you, my retarded overlords.
Does. The people inside are trying to do what they can, and they're trying to fix games and make them better, but the leadership is basically saying, sorry,
The leadership is literally fucking insane. At this point, the people there should do the funny thing and just not do any of the things that they ask to. Do like the opposite. Like these should listen to critics and be like, yeah, we made a better game. And oh, the reason why your game now actually fucking good is because we didn't do any of the things that you guys said we needed to do. We listened to the gamers who pay for our things. And you know what? After we did that, it became successful.
that's not the business that we're in. I can't help but think that these guys, their executive staff, had to have just been so
I actually feel sorry for these devs at this point.
salty about Expedition 33.
I hope he fucking is salty. Dude literally needs to wake up to a reality check from that fucking sodium poisoning he's fucking consuming. Like, else he will freaking die.
That game had lit up the entire industry. Everybody was talking about it. You have your own government talking about it. Yeah, I'd imagine these guys weren't very happy. I mean, every single headline, every video, every review made sure to make mention that a couple of their employees had slipped out the back and made a better game without them. I can't imagine that these guys took it all that well. They did the exact same thing
Oh, they were coping
with Dispatch. And you know what's really funny is that if I recall correctly, there were developers that came out and there were reports that were made that similar concepts were brought up to Ubisoft, but they had passed on it. Imagine being that blind to the own talent in your studios, your own talent in your studio.
No, you know, the CEO and middle management knows best. We want Fortnite 2.0. We want to get that freaking grease from these whales. We want to be whale fishers. But the way we're gonna do it, be totally freaking retarded and not listening to the players.
Yes. Imagine being that blind to good ideas that you guys couldn't pick that stuff up. Imagine being so bitter that you can't even learn lessons from it. The CEO needs to resign.
Yeah. At that point, the CEO needs to resign. Middle management need to be crubbed. Like, it needs to be cut half. At that point, like, leadership who didn't actually fucking work anywhere needed to be fired.
It's the only way that I see this company finding any success. All of their bad decisions are coming from the top. I know in a lot of cases people want to point out the developers, and in some cases it is the developers that are the problem. That's not saying that Ubisoft doesn't have any problem developing.
Oh, sure, they probably still have some activist developers who definitely should be weeded out. Some wokesters here and there probably do. Some pathetical people who's just too sad to actually just make something good. But definitely management is the problem.
Developers or any other parts of leadership, but a lot of this stuff is coming from the top. And it's obvious that they're just ruining this entire company. I mean, I'm of the mind that the only reason that Tencent is investing as much money as they are is because they know they're investing into the Titanic and they know that ship is going to sink right into their own pocket. They're just going to take all of the IP. And whether that actually means a better environment for the developers or them just shipping all those games off to be developed in China or something like that instead, I have no idea. But I will say this, and I don't say it very often, I feel bad for these developers. What a hellish and blind environment to work in, with no care for the art of game making and also no care for what the customers are asking them to make.
It is so sad for these developers.
Did you know that the hires that they made to fix Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six for Vantage Studios is the CEO's son and his cousin? His son, by the way, his only experience is in NFT games and mobile games. So, you know, that bodes well for those franchises. I'm sure that's going to go just fine.
Fucking nepotism.
You know, it's one thing to be this ignorant when you're successful. It's an entirely different thing to be this ignorant.
To be this ignorant and stupid.
When you are one of the biggest, scratch that, what were one of the biggest publishers in the games industry with some of the most recognized IP in the games industry, and now you're circling the drain. But for whatever reason, you will just not learn from any of your mistakes. They just don't exist.
Dude, no. People like those people who has become this narcissistic, or what you would call it, this goddamn stupid, needs to be humbled in the worst way possible. Like, they literally need to sit there in the smoldering corpse of everything to actually realize that they fucked up. Like, Ubisoft actually needs to die for them to realize they fucked up.
You have to ignore them. You tell your developers to ignore them when your developers are actively begging you, trying to fix things. They want to make better games. They want to be in smaller teams. They are telling you what the problems are, but you guys just won't listen to them. This is the reason why smaller studios do so well. It's because they have an easier time communicating with one another.
Yeah.
An easier time keeping one cohesive creative vision. An easier time listening to...
It's easier for people to say, like, nah, we can't do this. We can do this. Maybe let's try that. And people are like, okay, let's do this. Hey, the thing you wanted me to do, I actually figured out how to do this thing. Maybe we can do that. What do you think? And then be like, yeah, you know what? Let's do this. Instead at Ubisoft, it's like this. Hey, the thing you wanted me to, yeah, I can't do it. Oh, I don't know. I need to speak about it. And then they go to a meeting like, hey, we can actually, okay, we need to do this thing. Okay.
The players.
Oh, we already done that thing?
I don't see this company getting better.
No.
Especially with the way that they treat their developers.
They need to cut management. They need to cut the CEO. Needs to be gone.
Developers, especially with the way they run their business. And if things don't change fast,
Ubisoft will be dead by this year or the next if they don't change. If they don't actually do anything.
They're going to be done sooner than we think. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to share the video on social media. Share it with your friends. Share it all to everybody. Share it with your family. Watch it around the TV, whatever you guys want to do. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitter. I will catch you guys in the next one. Stay cool. Stay righteous. Stay safe. Peace.
Thank you. That was an awesome video. Always from this guy. This is Legendary Drops. Always make some awesome news videos. So yeah. I will, of course, there's a link in the description for you to find the video. Now that I have reacted to it, it's quite long. But thank everybody for coming. This is Psycho, the friend of survival specialist, here to talk about games and other kind of things and play video games and survive. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
All you need to know is that we're holding on. Even if we fall, we will rise up and we fall the